Silent. What's up, Scarbs?
Well, Daddy.
Oh shit. I'm interested to see how we play out here. I think Bitcoin might end up wanting to go more up to this hourly supply up here. Could be valid for sure.
Yeah.
But we've been showing. Let me take this. Also, it doesn't seem like there's too many bids. I'll have to move this. I've been playing around with this. What is it? The volume profile, but you can use it as like an actual tool, and you can make it a fixed range. Because really, the volume profile on the side of the thing, I mean, it makes no fucking sense. It's literally just the whole everything you have, which is just not, in my opinion, it doesn't make sense. But this is a little bit easier to read because you can put it for the current trading range you're in without having to make sure it's the only thing on your screen. Usually, whenever from what I've seen, and I'm still studying it, but you'll see price move to the areas where it's out of value, so is what this is called, to mitigate, but that doesn't also mean they'll reverse there. But you just use it in Confluence for like targets and stuff. Like for instance, like where was it? I did it on a different range earlier and it was like super clean. I think before, if I did it here, let me pull this. Oops. Where's the range of it? If I pull this over, I want to say over here maybe? No. There's somewhere I pulled it where it lined up pretty good, but like I said, I'm still messing with. Oh, there goes the Bitcoin shorts. Oh well. Yeah, I think Bitcoin will end up going for probably closer to up here in this zone. Let me go ahead and notify. But yeah, I think we'll end up going back up into this supply up here. I'll probably sit on my hands until then. What is it? 40? It's like 40,000, like 400-ish. Yeah, 40,400. Where I'll be looking to re-enter, but I'll need more confirmation. I'm not going to set just limits up there. Sorry, I'm having to type this shit out. All right, there we go. But yeah, it looks like Bitcoin's going to want And another thing too, if we follow this fractal, here, let me get some of this deleted. Clean up the chart a little bit. If we follow this fractal over here, one thing I was noticing, like it looks like we're kind of doing this same like arch move that we've been doing. We found on the 4-hour back over here. We could be engineering more liquidity downside, but it's not the same as this over here because we cleared lows with this just huge pump and dump. But here, if you notice, we came up to the higher time frame supply. We didn't go all the way back up to the range, and when we did, price was, it blasted right through it. So, I mean, there were probably shorts that were caught somewhere in here, but they weren't really swings. So at this point, it almost looks like let's delete this. Bitcoin's gonna want to return back up to at least this area. If we also draw a fib, that was one I just deleted on accident, that's going to be right around fair market value. So that'd lead to a higher probability trade anyways. We'll see how that goes. But that's what it's looking like is what it wants. Stream on wait. Oh, on the YouTube. Wow. I'm glad you guys told me. I forget it changes sometimes. There we go. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to be headed. I want to look at USDT dominance as well. See how this is looking. Looks like it's dropping. I mean, you can see it's literally the polar opposite of Bitcoin. And it's up at these highs. So we could see, I mean, judging by this, so this is March 14th was the last time it was at this level. So let's look at Bitcoin on March 15th. This is when Bitcoin kind of, in March, this is right around when Bitcoin was starting to move to the upside. So, who knows? We might see a push back up. I on the daily, I really don't see the best price structure. We've really been mitigating most of these levels. The only stuff I can see that's not mitigated are up here at the swing shorts that we entered quite a while ago, around 45K. I mean, I could possibly see that, but at the same time, there's not really much of a reason to go up here, in my opinion. But we'll kind of just play it by ear, see how we do. If anything, the best shorts, if we end up making it up here, will be from this area, up around what is it, 41K. But we play it one step at a time. We'll kind of see how we react to each level along the way. It just seems like Bitcoin's been getting weaker and weaker. Like, for instance, we have here, we did end up pumping back up to the 4-hour order block, and that's where really nice shorts played out. That's from the daily range equilibrium, and so these will be very close to it as well. But it's when we look at Bitcoin here, we had the same price action here. It was followed by a stop run, which gave some opportunity for some longs up to the overhead supply, which is just redistribution is all this was. But it looked like accumulation. It faked a lot of people out. So I'm almost expecting the same thing here, but no way really to tell until we reach these levels. What's ETH doing? Left our longs in the dirt. I'll probably end up canceling those limits, to be honest. It's been usually with these kind of returns to any of these origins of or whatever, if it's a choke or choach, whatever you fucking call it, you want it a little quicker than this. So I'll probably end up canceling these. What I'm going to do is wait till price returns to this level. I'll still use it as a POI, but we'll want to have low time frame reversal signs before we end up getting into any trades. And what's up, AOTR crypto? You get the happy coin picture. That's funny. It's just weird because Bitcoin too was showing signs of reversal here, but it just seems like there's so much liquidity above. Because if you look, we had this confirmation right here. But the thing is, with a lot of these, you know, you can take a trade back down to, like for instance, if we would have taken full profits, that's the only thing I can reflect on that I would wish I would have done differently with Bitcoin. Because even though we did take profits, it hit 1-to-1. So at the end of the day, it's really, if it is a loss, it's a very small loss. But the potential money that could have been made, that's kind of where I look back at it. I think. Hold on, I deleted the damn picture, but I'm pretty sure we entered right here off this drop. And we could have targeted this order block. I think we entered right like this. Something like that. It was like 173 or something. Something like that. And we could have used a tighter stop and played out the trade like that. So whenever we're in these ranges, for instance, on the 4 hour, if you use, we can use this right here would really have been the range. We were at a fair market value. So the shorts were valid, but they weren't necessarily like the craziest high probability. And even with confirmation, we could have maybe taken more profits at that level. That's the only thing I can really reflect on and would have done differently. I also think it'll, with Tokyo Open, we were kind of in this, let's go ahead and drop fib here. We were in this price range right here. And when we're up high in premium, a lot of times what I've noticed is when we see a new market session open, liquidity will get ran, regardless if it continues or not. That usually happens. So that's another thing I've been trying to keep note of. My thoughts on PYR. I think somebody's asked me about this before. I have no idea what it actually is, but oh yeah, somebody's definitely. Well, you're in a point of interest here. So you came down and swept up this fair value gap. You're in this daily POI. You haven't really got much sign of a confirmation yet, in my opinion. I wouldn't take longs just yet. What I'd be looking for is a change in market structure. So for instance, you have a high, made a new low. This new high made a new low. So really until, let's see actually. You know, I would say from this high, you could consider this down here a low and this right here a high. And then none of this is new lows. Like you can't really say that this is a low or this is a high because we are just range trading. No structure was broken. So once you can break above this high, because you've came out and cleared this liquidity, if this is what's happening, that you don't really have confirmation, you'd look for price to come up outside of this high up here, maybe close a 1 hour candle. Not totally necessary. And then you'd have an order block somewhere around here where you'd play a return to origin. And then at that point, you could target, you know, external highs right here and the equal highs. Could be a nice setup, but I don't see it just yet. But you are in a daily demand zone, so I mean, I would if this is, you know, a coin you're bullish on, you know, I'd keep it on your watch list. But I would also recommend, I don't know if this is like a shit coin or not, but if this doesn't have like very sound fundamental value, I would not be buying much crypto right now, in my opinion, until we get signs of a reversal. If you have fundamental belief in it, and you know this coin is something you love, then that's a totally another story. And at that point, you could just, you know, dollar cost average into it. So we said GRT. Yeah, we caught some pretty nice shorts on GRT yesterday. Seems like we came back down into this institutional candle over here. Oops, wrong way to draw that. And I like using the parallel channels for these because we can draw equilibrium. Bounce right off of equilibrium, which is good if you for a case to return back up here. So I could see, let's see if anything got left behind, any kind of supply. I mean, really, you could see, It's already been kind of wicked into it, but I mean, you could see a return up into this supply, honestly, because yeah, it's been wicked into it, but in all honesty, it hadn't until, or it wasn't wicked into before, or I'm sorry, after the change of character. So when we're back up here, let me rewind, use the rewind quick. So say once we have this change of character here, because you got that closure under our low, right? So, and this is where I see a lot of people tripping up. Let me turn some of these indicators off so you guys can see better. Hide this. There we go. So, once we have, so we come up, here's your low at first. We have our new low after this high. So you have a low, you come up and you make a high. And once you make another high, you're confirming this low. So people get caught up in this and everybody wants to just draw what looks like pivot points. But what's truly the highs and lows are once, there's a propulsion level and there's an extreme. So for instance, you had this was a high before and this propelled you up to a new high, fell, this low propelled you up to a new high. Same thing with when you're making lower highs and lower lows. You're looking at the high is not confirmed until you make a new lower low, and the low is not confirmed until you make a new higher high. So this is where people mess up trying to use change of characters a lot, is because they think that like as soon as we make a lower low, like here, like confirmation. Now, while if you took shorts there, you did eat, but that wasn't right. So what you're looking at is you have this right here, this kind of action, and then you break above. This is required right here. This is where everybody wants to leave out, and then you come back down and break down. And how you would play that is you'd play to the return to the origin, and then move to the downside. But we can see with GRT yesterday, we didn't return all the way up to this order block. Although I think we could when we came back down into this one. And what you would do at this point is just wait for low time frame confirmation. So for instance, it's the same thing. We're looking for it. Here, I guess I'll shut off my screen. Looking for a change of character on the lower time frame. So once we we have a change of character, and then we're going to plot out our supply zones. So we got one right here. We've got one right here. So we would have plotted these out, oftentimes this will happen pretty quickly. So let's say down here. So as soon as we got that closure, you'd be plotting out these demand zones. Price wicks back in. So we're going to wait on the 5-minute. And you could just there's two different levels. Oh yeah, somebody said ape choach. Somebody else was talking about that earlier. I'm just be careful shorting ape. I'm just telling you. I mean, I'm not saying it won't work, but I'm not participating in that. But I will go over it here in a second. But for instance, you came up in this supply zone, and now we're gonna do what? We're gonna wait for confirmation. Now, really on this, I would have probably used a 1-minute. Let's just see how it looked on the 5. And a lot of people hate on the 1-minute, but I mean, in all honesty, so you would have missed it here. So for instance, it's the same thing, it's the same structure we're looking for. So we have now we've reversed here. We've kind of started to make higher lows and higher highs. So we have higher high, higher low, higher high, low, high. When we break down here, and then what? We return to origin. It's the same setup, same exact setup. Have that higher high where you swept this liquidity, broke down, and then you return to origin. That's order block right here. And this is how you can refine your win rate to get those high risk to reward trades. We didn't even get this, I think, crazy of one. We got one pretty nice, but you can see the thing is, I will say about crypto, Like for instance, with Forex, this really works like very, very well. But crypto is kind of like volatile. There's a lot of different data feeds. So I see a lot of these getting stopped out. The thing is though, if you take them, for instance, if you take one of these and it hits, you can get stopped out of multiple if you're doing it correctly. It's just part of the game. Um, because a lot of people have this stupid conception that you have to like win all trades, and most of the time, I mean, you want to win more trades than not, but if you're taking 20-hour trades, 15-hour trades, a lot of those people that trade specifically like that, they take all sorts of little losses, but when they win really big. Um, for instance, here you would have never even seen any drawdown this way. I think we entered. Let's see where our entry was. It wasn't too bad. Basically, I had noticed because I came in and sort of I saw this right here. At that point, I'm gonna go ahead and just get in because I'm looking at it and we have targets pretty far away. The risk to reward was definitely there, so I'm not gonna try to force myself to. Oops, I don't want to move. Try to force myself to always get that absolute snipe. But I mean, it's nice when they work out like that. Like for instance, the first part of this Bitcoin trade earlier, it's how it worked out. It's the same exact setup, same exact thing. And this is why it's odd, but it also goes to show that if you have liquidity up above, it is a little more risky whenever you're taking trades like this because when we have these massive moves, we leave a lot of liquidity in these candles. So I had noticed we had taken out a lot of this one. There was still quite a bit. I was looking at it like, okay, you know, this wick we had tapped off of equilibrium, so I was looking for more of a retracement. But whenever we're playing these lower probability setups, I guess you could call them, it's probably better to take profits sooner. So that's one note that I'm making from this. But at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. Where is the actual short position? I have so many fucking delete. That's right. It was around this area. We had a much wider stop and longer profit targets, but in essence, so if we look at the 15-minute. It's the same setups, right? We're waiting for price to come into mitigation. So price did what? It came into mitigation. So we saw this right here. If you come to the 5-minute, let's do a 1-minute actually. Over here, you had it's the same structure, right? Our lows, highs, and so on, all the way up to here. Low made a new high. It's the same setup. Came down. Where are we going to play it from next? The 1-minute. That happened. After that confirmation, you look on the 5-minute, we had the same structure in the 5-minute right here, playing into this supply. So, and this is why I try to like teach people, don't always just look at stuff like, oh, order block, it's been tapped, it's not, da da da. It's just a supply zone. And you got to watch how price reacts to supply zones in order to get trade setups. But there's different styles. Everybody has a different style. If you have a style that's profitable for you consistently, don't change it and do whatever you want. But this is what I found for me works better. So we have price moves back up into the supply. We had that 1-minute order block because we're using those 1-minute change of characters. That's how you're going to get some of the best entries. People like joke and laugh on the 1-minute. It's just because they don't know how to use it. But once we came up here, we came back into this zone. You have oh yeah, this is what it was right here. So the same setup. I mean, this is a great example of price being fractal so low. I think this was actually where was it? It's low, high, and then we broke down here. That's what it was. And then you look at the order block that sponsored this break. What did somebody tag me in? What? Oh, Tomo got stopped out. Oh well. Can't be mad at it. That was the only trade that actually was just a total loss. So I'd say after Rune and everything else, we're probably pretty asymmetrical on the day. Maybe a small gain, but so here once we had this shut the fuck up to me. But we had a order block up here. This supply came up, mitigated right off of it. So that's how you could get some of these setups. Like I said, we probably should have taken heavier profits than we did. But I love you too, Timmy. I'll see you in chat. But yeah, so either way, you can use these setups and get good RR, and that's really all that matters at the end of the day. Is if you have a trade that um, it doesn't matter about percent moves. It just matters about how well is the trade executed. Um, what can I chart ape? That was the last one. I don't know. I guess let's use Coinbase because I know there's the most data. Oops, wrong one. So here's the thing with ape. Yeah, it might be having a choach, but it's going to be a risky play because there's no mitigation. We're not. You could look at it like, yes, we are above an old high, so there could be a point of interest, but it's not like that much data. You know what I mean? You're not really. I don't know. Personally, I mean, I can see it like for sure right here. As your change of character, so you have this low, high, low, new high, cleared out the high, cleared out the low. Look for this. So, but like I said, I wouldn't be participating in this personally, just because ape kind of has got a lot going on right now. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it looks like a nice short, but I've kind of just been chilling on ape, especially. I think it's the 30th. There's a what is it? There's some like I know they're minting, or they're either minting the land or something to do with people getting locked in, but you have to have a certain amount of ape, so everybody's kind of or everybody's anticipating you'll have to have a certain amount of ape. I don't think there's been any announcements. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't want to say too much on it and mislead anyone, but I do know on the 30th there is a big announcement with the other side from Yuga Labs, and I know that people are going to probably be buying ape, and I'm pretty sure in this process somebody said it that let's just look it up. I think I'm actually in the Discord. I'll just go on there. But there was basically a reason for a lot of the tokens to be locked up. General, where is it? That's just cancer. I can't even look in this chat. There's too much stuff going on. Yeah, I mean, it looks good, but if I was ever to play it, I'd wait for up here, and still, it's just kind of like, because when you look at this, you always want to be making sure too that you're taking trades from a area premium. So, for instance, here in the current price range we're in, we're not in premium, so I wouldn't really want to take anything where we're at. And it's, people don't realize it does matter. Like, say if you move a good bit from wherever you're at or wherever you're looking at trading, like for instance, like say you missed the trade, it was right here, you're down here, that's a huge difference. I have a lot of people ask like, oh, should I should I still, is this still good for entry? And it's like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, if you size your position right, you can make it to where you lose the same amount of money if the stop loss hits. But do you really want to do that? Like, do you want to force it? Because if it's not a good trade, there's not enough risk to reward, then it's like, what's the point? You know, that's what we're after here is risk to reward, because that's what determines if you really make money or not. And the thing about playing only high risk reward setups is you can very easily take a loss, but or a couple losses, and still make, you know, great money overall, because when you win, you're winning so much bigger than you're losing. So um a lot of people, I feel like it takes them so long to understand that concept, and how to really size your positions. Yeah, I mean, I see the shorts here though, I will say that. Take something like, I mean, again, it's just so degenerate to try to short ape. I'm also actually curious. I want to throw this volume profile on it and see. Let's do this. It's like there's not really much. I mean, there's volume down here, but there's not a whole lot going on up here. This is really the value zone, so to speak, would be down here of this price swing. But see, as you can see from where you're at now, it's like, what kind of risk reward is that? Not great, you know. And you'd probably be looking to take this maybe lower, but I mean, coming to a fair market value with something like this, when really this could just be confirmed reaccumulation here, like reaccumulation, move up, last preliminary supply, then like back up to mitigate any liquidity below, which you could say was right here. Really all this, not all of it got tapped. So it's just not really the greatest setup in my opinion. And yeah, the ape could take a shit on the 30th. You're not wrong. It could be a sell the news event. I would not be surprised at all on that. Let's look. I'm interested to see what Bitcoin's doing. I'm gonna be big sad if it just dumps. I just on the we're up too far above supply. It's like at this high, you know, you can have that initial kind of like liquidation run to shake out any early positions, but once we get above that high, usually I'm just kind of chilling, and I try to play only from mitigation. But only the next mitigation I see is literally even on a 15-minute is up here, all the way back up here at like 40,400. So I mean, you could say maybe this 1 hour up here, that I could use all of it. In all honesty, because we have that fair value gap ending there, this is probably what I would chart overall. So until price even comes into this zone, I'm not even going to consider trying to take a short on it. Still holding GRT shorts as well. If they get stopped to break even, so be it. It's just that I will say Bitcoin's getting sold the fuck off though. And this is where people get faked out, because like say like a lot of people would say this is a change of character right here. And you could have played shorts here, and you can even like see people doing it. Like this is people taking those trades. That's what that is. But this is kind of, you know, from here, when you look at it, you had a low, a high, a low, high, low, high, low, and then up here. So really you'd need under that and a closure, not just like a wick. You can I don't know. That's up to you. I've seen people use it both ways, but I like using closures in my opinion. Also, I see a couple of you guys are server muted. I'm gonna unmute you in case you do want to talk. But you might have to mute your mic. Or I might have to mute it back.
You unmuted him and I muted him right back.
Right? I was gonna say. I'm about to mute. Sorry, skill
But
or ski.
I personally like using changes of character only near like point of interest.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. 100%. And
because that it's aggressive.
yeah, any reversal trades, it's like you want to make sure there's high probability as possible. And it's like you could say, I mean, I've seen some people consider the change of character like above an old high and like a potential reversal zone, which I can see it, but I don't know. Like personally, I like playing it in like 15-minute at the least mitigation, like in supply or demand. Like I I don't know. I've just seen it because people they learn that tactic and they just like run fucking wild with it. When in reality, you
It's
really,
dangerous.
yeah, exactly. And then they'll like fuck it up and be like, this shit don't work, and it kind of ruins a good strategy. And once you have a bad habit like that, it's not easy to shake. But
What I learned is when you're looking for bull to bear changes characters, you always want to choose the closest low that sponsored that move that took out the high in internal structure. And same thing bear to bull. You look for the internal structure change that took out either the high or the low. Same thing like swing structure, but with inter what's it called? Internal structure.
no, I agree.
So like if it's one move, like those candles that I see there on your screen that are the two blue ones, I'm guessing the next one's going to be a blue one too, right? Like the current price action. Yeah. So I would use the low from the where that order block is. I would use that low.
Like right here, or
E-
this
the,
low.
that low of the blue candle and the high of the blue candle. That candle, yeah, right there. That
Yeah,
low and that high, and then I would use that as a change of character. But if it was on a lower time frame,
yeah,
because it would be,
yeah.
you know,
It'll be like right here.
I usually count those as one move if I just see the price going up like
Yeah,
that.
I would say this is one move. I mean, because it's really like on the
Yeah.
15-minute, and that's why it's like okay, on the 5-minute, there's different. On the 1 minute, there's gonna be different. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But like for the way that I try to do it too is if I'm like, say, if I'm at a 4-hour POI, like a 4-hour daily POI, I like an hour change of character. If I'm at an hour, I like a 15-minute change of character. If I'm at a 15-minute, I'll use a 5 or a 1 minute. And then even if you start, like here, we can go back up to the shorts we got in forever ago. This was simply just a 1 hour change of character. So like when you look, move this. We're in daily supply. Fuck. Daily supply. Super extended, obviously in a premium. That's no question. No matter how you draw the fibs. Then we come up to once we're in the supply, we can start to look for signs of reversal. We're obviously here. And this is another thing why, like for instance, if people just short like the base of the order block in the daily and use a stop loss, it's like, yeah, you can do that, and you probably wouldn't have got stopped out, but the risk reward's just garbage. So it's better to use the lower time frame. So we come in here, have this low right here, high, low, high, and low, and then I think actually let's look on the 15-minute to make it look a little easier. Fuck. I wish that trading view like was a little smarter and like when you fucking were back testing and one on the 15-minute, it would just put you right there. But
That would be amazing.
you know, once we came down, and this is when I was trying some different strategies. Like I was using the choach and then a break of structure after it. This one actually, I was looking at this earlier. Maybe it wasn't the 1 hour where we had. Okay, so this is how. So we could draw it like this. I think this was actually drawn on the 15-minute originally, and you could look at it like the confirmation was the second break of structure. But one thing I've found is if you just use candle closes, actually can be much better. So, for instance, like right, I guess you would say we made a high, and then a new low because we pushed ourselves to the high. Really, the more and more you look at it, you had a choke right here. That was the absolute sniper entry, but that happened pretty quickly. These are oftentimes you have to scale it at 15-minute. Now I get to take a minute to get all the way back to Bitcoin. So you're able to find this right here. I'll just use the whole candle. That would have been a snipe of a fucking entry. Absolute snipe. But the way we did it was using the confirmation, and you also still got a great trade. In all honesty, I probably could have put the stop loss a little closer like this and got a higher risk reward. But whenever I'm swinging something, I just, with crypto, I've learned my lesson from trying to do that. And plus, we had a 5-to-1 here, so can't complain on it. But that's the same structure or the same strategy that was used to find a ton of these plays we've been taking. Like it's simple, but it's not simple. It's like once you get it, you get it, and you won't unsee it. But until
Out
then,
of the
it's
three, that's the most profitable one. The one where it changes a character and then the break structure.
mhm.
That's probably the most profitable one I've seen. Just because it like it gives you extra confirmation, and then the risky ones are the chachas. But if you just use break a structure, that one's pretty good too.
Yeah, like you mean like the second, the confirmation?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
confirmation.
It,
Yeah, because I don't consider it a break a structure unless I'm on like a higher time frame.
yeah,
Because
because
like to me, the structure is a swing structure.
yeah, exactly. And even then, like for instance, like in the 4 hour, you want like a 4 hour candle closure too. Like if we want to get
Yeah,
technical, you know what I mean? Because like, but I will say though, I've seen a lot of crypto, like for instance, if we go back to, no, it wasn't Bitcoin. Let's go back to like last, um, I don't know if it was Bitcoin. I think it might have been Dot. There was one coin I noticed it literally wicked and like didn't close, but then it reacted just the same. My TA for or my I always like change up my shit, and I hate the way my old shit looks. Like I just want to delete all this shit. Oh shit. For instance, you could have caught on the 4 hour, um, and I would never really try to play choaches on the 4 hour. I think you'll just get left behind. The 1 hour is good for swings. Use the 4 hour levels, but for instance, um, if we're gonna, I'm just gonna delete all this because it's too much. We would have looked here. You had this. So we'll say, right, this was your low. No, actually, yeah, this was a low, but I wouldn't consider that. So the low, new high, new low, high, low. Yeah, this is where. Then this is where a lot of people got tripped up because trying to play like, okay, well, it's gonna come up to this candle. But you got to remember, you're trying to look for institutional candles with a lot of volume. So if you have any of these, like these candles right here, I don't really ever play them as like a limit, but always mark the entire thing, like from wick to wick, because especially as a huge body like that, usually it's not going to even have this big of a wick, but use that as a POI because that's going to be, first of all, a ton of volume in it. I would have even probably just said this all as a demand zone. And this is why I try to tell people to grasp an understanding of what a damn, is Bitcoin really up? Wow, that's funny. Oh, you averaged up, that's why you're up. But this this point of interest you could have used, and we came over here, and then you could have waited for a change of character on the 1 hour point of interest, or just um I wouldn't have played limits here. You could have waited for like a 15-minute or 5-minute change of character, which you definitely got here. Let's zoom back out. Bitcoin. I don't know if we can even go back that far. We can't. It's okay. Well, you would have had a change of character somewhere in here. I mean, you can almost see it, really. You made a high, low, and then you could have just entered at this point. Because remember, you're using this as a confirmation to something you already have confirmation of. So I also see a lot of people that they'll only play, like, they'll get an hour confirmation, 15-minute, 5-minute, then 1 minute, which is cool, but it's like you're gonna miss a ton of fucking trades like that. Which it's not bad to miss trades, but at the same time, you don't want to go like crazy with that mentality. Like, it's great once you become good at trading. I firmly believe that um, you'll take less trades than you used to. Does that mean you're not going to take a lot of trades? No. I mean, if you're day trading, there's going to be trades within the market each and every day. That's just how it goes. But you also will become a little more patient with them. But don't get too picky, because I know that but when you're learning new strategies, I encourage you to kind of like not even trade them until you back test them and just plot out stuff. Like, anytime I'm trying to learn anything new, because at the end of the day, we're all learning new tweaks and new styles. And when you're doing that, you need to just plot out trades and just see how they go. Don't just, you know, um, YOLO it and try a new strategy without testing it, making sure you're doing it correctly. Because everything in trading, it's always like riding a bike. You don't get it at all, and then once you get it, it's just like butter. It's so easy. What's Bitcoin doing now? Watch it just dump to where I wanted it to. I just don't really see they just wanted premium, but I don't really see why, like, where we're at now, unless I guess you could say filling up this fair value gap, but we still have a ton more liquidity. The only way a new trade would even be valid is if you saw the same structure we saw over here. So we just need to break this right here, and then you'd play a return up to that order block, then you go the 5-minute for confirmation there, or the 1 minute. It's the same, it's a blueprint. But like I said, I wouldn't probably even worry about it because we're not in that POI anymore, and we've broken highs from where we were. So what does somebody say? How long do you think smart money concepts will work on crypto? Well, you got to remember, it's not like really necessarily a like a person that you're trading off of. It's more or less algorithms. Like, more, I think it's like they say like 70% of trades are initiated by algorithms nowadays. So, and who knows how much of that holds true. I mean, it would make sense to me. I don't know why they wouldn't use algorithms, but yeah, I don't think that there's like the market maker that's going to change. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. No one knows for sure. Somebody said, hold on. For OBs, does it always have to be the last red-green candle that sponsored the drop, or seeing which volume is highest? It doesn't always have to be the last. Oftentimes it will be, but it doesn't have to be. Like, if you see a big
Have you ever
candle,
tried just using the last candle and not like making your candles black?
like just making everything the same candle and always just using the last candle,
Yeah, you should try it next time. Just back
it
test it
works. It does work. That's the thing. Like,
because it's just supply, so it works. I didn't believe it until I made my candles like all one color and I tested it on futures. I was like, get the fuck out of here,
no, it
because
definitely
it
does
made
work.
my stop loss way smaller. And for
Yeah.
futures, that was important. It like saved me a lot of money.
No, I agree for sure. And like, there's so many times. That's one thing that I've learned is like especially if you're playing these low time frames, like if you have that order block way up here and you're like, oh, it's not gonna hit, it's not gonna hit, it's gonna hit almost every fucking time. Like you might see a reaction off other candles, whatever, but like for instance here, I would even scale into the 5 minute. Okay, you got this up here. This to me would be where I'd personally want to play was this candle, because like you said, it's supply. It's where the supply actually was dumped. Another thing I really I'm gonna start working on it more and more, but I like using this fixed range volume profile. I fuck with it. Do this actually. There we go. I really like it because you can kind of see where smart money, the value area is, because using this indicator, like the actual indicator, is so beyond redundant in my opinion. It doesn't even make sense why you'd ever use it, because it's literally everything on your screen, which it makes no fucking sense in my opinion. But oh, the sound you can't hear good. There's that. I don't have my VPN on. It shouldn't be bad. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I can hear it just fine.
Okay,
I think
cool.
it might be their internet.
Cool. Yeah. See, for instance, like I don't see any, like this is just normal. Like at the end of the day, like Bitcoin could dump like this. Oh, here you go. Demand, also point of control. So, Timmy, I know if you're in shorts, like dead honesty, if it were me, do what you want. If it were me, if you got lucky and it's back in profits, I would personally just cut and chill. But do as you wish. One thing too, another strategy, actually, I haven't really looked at this since we broke out. So if we look at, let's just get rid of all this shit. Oops. So when you have these, so there's choaches and there's flips. So for instance, we could just mark this whole thing as supply. So, yeah, honestly, this would have been nice. But well, there wasn't really confirmation. I'm still kind of messing with these. I haven't really traded one yet, but the concept of it is basically when you react to supply. So like when you come into supply and you have an initial reaction to it, would have been right here. Then you wait for break of structure and candle closure, and then you look at the order block that's the last order block that sponsored a swing to the upside. And you could have said it was one of these. I could have seen how that would have happened, but really it was this one right here. You can see that would have been a pretty nice opportunity. And I'm not, like I said, and the next target would have already been hit all the way. So it would have been like something like this. That would have hit pretty nicely. Been a nice 5-to-1. And really, you probably could have, again, you could have came in here, went in the 5 minute or the 1 minute, or the 1 minute for this. So you had high, low, made a new high. You would have actually got left in the dirt. Trying to play this right here, because this would have been the candle. But, you know, actually, let's see. Nope. Yeah, you would have got left behind. So that's why, and it's like, I wouldn't have wanted to play that kind of limit anyways, but it would have worked. Bitcoin is just so crazy that like, look at this, like for the last like month, like all these like just crazy arches. It's just like massive pump and dump, like insanity. If you look here, we had this bounce right off equilibrium. Curious to see this time how far did it go. It did go into premium a little bit. So let's see. It is getting sold off as soon as we come into that premium, but Bitcoin's being finicky. TA, I got you on Mask. I honestly haven't ever messed with Mask. Nice reaction to daily demand. So this is actually pretty nice. I set some alerts for this. So you have this change of character here. I think that'd be the change because you have the high that sent you to a new low. Yeah, so at this point, I would probably plot up. So you'd put really either of these are in range. Preferably, I'd play this down here. Select the volume. There's not really a ton of volume. You could say this could be potential inducement right here. There's some stop losses under that for sure. What I would do is also set an alert here. I'm going to set an alert in both areas. Play the body. This is how I would just wait. I wouldn't really like set any limits for it. It looks good though, honestly. Preferably would have been nice if you would have came back down sooner. And it looks almost like maybe the 15-minute was. Let's see. So this is another example with crypto. I swear the fucking 15-minute hits harder than the 1 hour sometimes. Because for instance, here you had your change of character. Your first one that was found on the 15-minute was right here. If you just played this order block with stops under the low, I mean you're up. And I found the 15-minute gives the best entries. So, but you did get the 1 hour. I wouldn't ever just set limits off it. Just set these alerts. You got a nice break of structure here in the 4 hour as well. Really change the character. I mean, this looks pretty good, but I would want for it to retrace a little more. Take a look at sushi. I got you. Change your character. There you go. It's not like you can see in the reaction I'd want it to though, to be in all honesty. Then you had this right here. It's not really reacting how I'd want it to. if I was in longs here. I mean, this is good structure here, but it's kind of like, it's definitely not seeing that impulsive reaction you usually would want to see. And the risk to reward wasn't really. Let's look at the 4 hour. I don't know, I guess. I mean, you could. One thing I will say though is with these, whenever you have high time frame fair value gaps, like for instance on the 1 hour, the 4 hour, which would be a liquidity void in the 1 hour, I almost always look for this low to get swept, like the first low, almost every time. When you have this fair value gap here, price will kind of come up, sweep it, and then you look for an opportunity to play to the top of the fair value gap. So somewhere in there is where you'd look for price to return, but I don't think it's just ready yet. It doesn't look very strong.
Wait, did he? Oh,
What's up?
what's good, my brother?
Not shit, not shit. What is this?
Oh fuck.
Was that JL leaving? He said, oh fuck, just bounced. I'm gonna go ahead and announce canceling those ETH limits. Whatever they are at. There we go. You guys have any other coins? I mean, dude, let me know because I'm gonna hop off here in a minute. GRT. Go back over. Got this alert and then wait 2 seconds. Near and GRT. I'm gonna do those two and then I'm gonna hop off. Okay, so GRT. I'm gonna do this on a different chart just because I have this one marked up already. So we have this huge institutional candle right here. Seems like we reacted nicely to 50% of it. Yep, right there. So we got that reaction. So you're gonna see it. You could consider this. What the fuck? Oh, I have other shit drawn on this chart. Let me redraw that candle. Saw a nice reaction within this POI. In a 15-minute, you got a change of character I would have considered it here. Personally, I wouldn't have played the. Actually, no, it would have been down here because really this was your last. You made a new high right here that forced you down to this new low. Yeah. Really didn't give you much of an entry, in all honesty. Or the way I would have played it, I wouldn't have taken any longs here. If anything, it would have been way down here. I mean, who knows? Price might return to this area. This is where I would have taken the longs. Obviously, price did not go back down there. Opportunity was kind of missed. I wouldn't really play limits off this at this point. It's kind of the same reason I just canceled those ETH longs. It's the same setup, but it didn't really. It didn't ever return within a timely manner. You want it to return within, like 10, 15 candles or so. But it didn't. We're now in this supply, 2-minute supply. Really, this is, you have to come all the way down here. A change of character on the 15 or the 5. And the reason why, because a lot of people I know are probably sitting there like, oh, what about this low? You never made a new high, so this isn't a low. There's no market structure has been formed. Here's your low, here's your high. Before that, here is your low, and here is your high. So that's kind of, at this point, it wouldn't necessarily be a short until you broke all the way down here. So, and then at that point, it probably wouldn't be the greatest risk to reward. If you're playing the 1 minute, maybe different. You'd look at it. You probably already caught some shorts on the 1 minute. Because if you're playing the 1 minute, here, you had that break structure. So you had there. So that's your choach. Could have targeted 50% of this candle. Snipe. And you'd probably be looking at targeting an order block within here somewhere. It's probably been down in here. You would have targeted a couple different lows at that point. Like here, here. I guess here would be your final target. So I said near. Yeah, I guess general sum on GRT is until you get that, I wouldn't look for any kind of reversal. You could be coming up to this 4-hour candle or the 1-hour supply right here. Would not surprise me. Also, we're plotting GRT on the daily. I'm really gonna plot it and say this would be your range. I mean, at this point, you'd almost be targeting the fill of this fair value gap. Could also look at it like we could have a flip scenario here, like I was talking about earlier. Say price pushes above this high right here. That would break the initial reaction to mitigation, and you'd look for the propulsion block that pushed price above that level. So like for instance, if price just went straight from here, flew all the way up to flew through this high, you could play this level or this level, whichever one. Near was the other one. Let's see, ETH come back in 10 to 15 candles. 10 of, wait, where was that? Did that go as a stream chat? That's crypto chat. Just 10 or 15 candles of wherever you found the choach. So like if I found it in the 5-minute, I'd want it in like 10 5-minute candles. If I found it in the 15-minute, want it in 10 15-minute candles. Oh, wow, my VPN on my iPad doesn't want to work. It's frustrating. If I use my VPN while I'm... There we go. So near. Didn't really seem like it wanted this demand. I mean, it wasn't really the greatest level in my opinion. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna redraw this. So here, low, high, low. Also, I'm going to do a volume profile on this. So you can see a lot of money entered the market right here around this order block. So you can see that might need to be mitigated. So I would lean towards setting some potential limits there, depending on not limits. I'm sorry. Do not set limits there. Setting some alarms for potential longs there, but again, with everything, you'd need much more confirmations than we're finding on a daily. It would be a good setup. Foreign discount. Looks like you're not really leaving tons of liquidity up above. It's cleaning up a lot of the stuff on the way down as well. So that's kind of like, but I would probably be chilling on near personally for now. I mean, you can always chart these demand zones though. I mean, you can always watch them. I mean, you're in demand now. Kind of broke down from it, and then I guess you could say here's demand, and you can almost force it really, but I wouldn't really say that any of this is much interest in my opinion. I would wait till it comes down here. Somebody said gold, and I actually just want to look at it, and then I really am getting off. And, just curious. So you can see gold's not doing too. And also you gotta remember too, the dollar has fucking been flying lately, so that's gonna fuck with a lot of stuff. And you have no reason to long here at all, in my opinion, yet. I mean, you're still just continuously making lower lows and highs. So until you shift, and maybe you will, maybe you won't, but until you shift this action, I would be chilling on this big time. I've been actually wanting to trade more Forex and metals and energy lately, but I don't know. I feel like with the macroeconomic factors at play right now, you can get fucked very easily playing some of this stuff.
Stay away from natural gas.
Right?
corn.
I've like
Don't
watched that shit.
do
It's
it.
just like pointless, bro. Like you have to
You
play
get
news.
wrecked.
Yeah.
Because like it's anybody would get. It's just the moves are not in favor of any. It doesn't matter if you're a bank. Like banks aren't even touching it. You know, the other day they halted trading for certain commodities, like TD Ameritrade.
Really?
Just halted. Like you can't open or close the position. That's what gave us the. That's what gave me a hint. I'm like, oh shit, they're stopping this. So they're thinking 2020 is going to happen again. And sure enough, we pulled back 10%, not too far off after.
Yeah.
Just crazy. Like I was gonna play corn, and then they were asking me for, I think it was like 35 grand collateral. I was like, what the fuck?
You're like, hell no.
Hell no! Like one contract, 35 grand. What the fuck?
Bro.
I would have came up though. My boy closed his contract. He closed 30K for one contract.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I would like what is it, oil? I can't remember the fucking thing. My mind's completely blank
For oil is CL1.
what it was.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
There's two of them. There's Brent oil and then there's WTI. Because the US, we use sweet crude. And Europe and all the other countries and China, they use sour crude. So we have two different things we use.
Jesus.
Two different types of oil.
See, this is a great example of, bro, fucking made some tendies right here. Oh my god, bro, look at this. So literally, bam.
Yep.
Oh my god. Talk about fucking racks.
You would get paid.
Dude,
Paid.
like
Paid is an
oh my
understatement.
God.
Paid.
You'd have
Like if
literally
you go
hit-
look up the Forex pairs, so you don't have to pay that. If you look up the Forex pairs, the lot size for oil is ridiculous.
you would have literally been able. So if you're using really from because you're using daily demand, so
Yep.
I mean I would have probably went to like 4-hour strings, and I would
Oh,
have
my price target for oil is 150, bro. Ever since
Like in
it got above
2008.
like 80, 90 bucks around there, 90 bucks. Once it got above that and the oil started going up, I was like, oh, dollar going up, oil going up,
Yeah.
done. Short everything.
What the fuck? My cat just jumped on my goddamn desk. What the hell are you doing?
Just don't short Facebook because that thing is crazy.
I saw that shit. I would not touch that.
I was gonna buy a couple puts on it, you know. Good thing I didn't.
Right?
We're gonna fuck.
Yeah, you could have literally targeted like this next. They're using internal, so I'll just use the next external daily level.
Yep,
God damn, bro.
it would have paid. The other one that would have paid is NG, natural gas. I think it's UNG. Natural gas, yeah. But you don't even know what happened in this chart. Like
It's like which
you don't
candle's
even know
which.
what the hell's going on. Like I don't know.
Fair value gaps everywhere.
Yep. I just know that as soon as I heard that Russia is going to war with Ukraine, I was like, there goes natural gas. And then, Poland gets 50% of their crude from Russia. And then the European Union buys like 40% of their energy from Russia.
Yeah, this looks big bull. Like the thing is, once you see this kind of shit, and if there's not like huge gaps, I mean, there's some here, like nothing crazy. Like it's gonna take a lot for you to shift structure. Like this would have to dump immensely. Like you'd have to literally see this to even say, "Oh, we're in a bearish daily trend." It's just, it's not even.
It's
like,
just full.
not
It's
gonna
going to
happen.
keep going, bro. It's going to
Yeah.
keep going. That one, and there was one more that we were looking at. Yeah. But it was just terrible. Oh, if you go type in VIX, VIX, I don't know where it's at now, but it was at like $30-something yesterday.
Oh, hold on, I forgot to post the time I got stopped out. I gotta see if people saying something.
All these different ones are just macroeconomic indicators to tell you to, hey, you better watch out. Flash crash could happen.
Oh fuck! I've done this before. I tagged the person that's crypto diamond in PlayBit instead of like crypto, like the tag. Bro, what is everybody? I've heard like people talking about like Hotbit and Rollbit. Like, there's like all these like fucking new leverage things that are just rugging people. But yeah, on that note, guys, I'm gonna hop off here. I appreciate you guys as always. Yeah, until next time, just DM me if you have any questions. Peace.